Hi, everybody. I am Skylar Swift Carden here today with Nerds with Dice to play my game, Electric Sheep, which is a solo journaling game, which focused on dreaming in the digital age. Again, I'm Skylar Swift Carden. I use they, them, and he, him pronouns, and welcome to Nerds with Dice. I'm on the channel frequently. We have merch. You can find those in chat along with links to our various profiles, or you can go to nerdswdice on twitter.com. So for this game, all you need is yourself, the booklet, and basically something to write on and with. So we have me. We have my dream journal that I have brought, and a pen. And I'll also be using a dice roller app on my computer. So if it's all right with everybody, I'm just going to be reading out the booklet as we go along. Again, this is a solo journaling tabletop role-playing game, and here we go. So quickly before I start reading, there is actually a play-along audio version of this game as well. I did all of the writing and design and illustration and audio recording. So if by any chance you've heard the audio recording, you know that I'm doing a robot voice in there. That is with the assistance of some editing software that I do not currently have access to as we are doing it live. So I'm just going to do my best impression of my own narrator voice. You don't dream, do you? How could you, after all, when your insert device does it for you? Maybe you yourself are insert device. It's become almost impossible to tell in this day and age. Maybe your insert medication is to blame. Maybe it's all that insert intoxicant. Maybe your soul died along with all those brain cells while you scrolled on insert app, and it can't make pretty pictures for you anymore. Maybe you weren't born a robot, but you're going to die one. Query: do you miss dreaming? In this game, we are going to make and record a dream. Task: gather the following materials. 1 dream journal to write in whatever works. 1 something to write with. 1 d6 die or more. We're using a dice rolling app. And 0, you already have this booklet. So, step 1. Query: where do your eyes open? Roll 1d6 to start dreaming. All right, let's roll our dice roller. Oh. So we've gotten a 3 on that roll. And with a 3, we are inside. All right. We're just going to quickly write that down so you can keep track of everything for your dream. And if you can see here, if you can make it out, task: record in dream journal. Query: and what is it like? Task: roll 1d6 2 times in a row, 2 separate times, to pick 2 adjectives. The first roll determines the adjective table, and the second roll determines the adjective. If you roll the same adjective twice, roll again, but increase that adjective's impact upon your dream as it is fate. Sorry to interject again. I just, obviously, when you're designing a game, particularly by yourself, you end up testing it a lot. But it's been, let's say, 4, almost 5 months since I published this game, and it's my first time playing my own game since I was in sort of the fugue state of testing and creating it. So this is really fun. Thank you for joining me. Let's roll our adjectives. And you can see here I'm gesturing on the screen to the adjective tables. we've got our 6 options here, and our first roll will determine which table we are on. Okay, so the first roll is a 4, so we're on table number 4, and adjective number 3. So, oh, fun. The first adjective to describe where we are dreaming is abstract. One of the goals I had with this game was to really capture the sort of hazy, unsure feeling that you get when you're experiencing the story of a dream, basically. The ways that your brain like makes up things to show you, and you try and piece those stimuli into a coherent narrative. So you'll see there's a lot of ways that the sort of creation process of this game can get a little bit fucky, and it's already getting there. So let's get our second adjective after abstract. So table 3, adjective 4. So the second adjective is visceral. Okay. So where we are dreaming is abstract, and it's visceral. So query, where are you? In your dream journal, based on your 2 adjectives, tell me where you are. So we're somewhere that's abstract and visceral. So I am going to say, based on that, that we are in the cold storage of an abattoir, a slaughterhouse. I think that is a location that adequately describes both of those adjectives. So yes, keep in mind, in our dream journal, we are in the cold storage of an abattoir or a slaughterhouse. And so I think we're kind of surrounded by the sort of hanging and processed carcasses of various animals, cows and pigs. All right, next step. Step 2. I think I might know you. Query. Are you alone? So our task now is to roll 1d6 to determine if we are alone. 1 through 2 is alone, 3 through 4 not alone, and 5 through 6 is I don't know. We have rolled a 4, which means that we are not alone, which is very funny. Have you ever been dreaming and just gotten the sudden gripping sense that you are not alone, but you don't know if there's another person or where they would be? I do. A bit of backstory for this game actually is that I tend to have very, very vivid dreams, actually. Being a little vulnerable right now, this diva has a post-traumatic stress disorder diagnosis. And one of the things that often comes with post-traumatic stress disorder is really vivid nightmares, both about the sort of inciting incident of the disorder and also just in general, when I'm stressed, my brain will make up something insane. So that's part of why I wrote this. So, if alone, query, do you want to be? We are not alone, so unfortunately we don't get to answer that. If I don't know, query, are you frightened? Again, we know we're not alone, so we don't get to answer that. But if not alone, query, who are you with? So we're going to roll 1d6. 1 through 2 is friend, 3 through 4 is an enemy, and 5 through 6 is a stranger. And you may notice that we're determining all of this before we even know who we are. That is going to come up later in the game. So we've rolled a 4, which means that the person who's with us is an enemy. So to recap, we have opened our eyes within the dream. We are somewhere abstract and visceral that we have determined to be the cold storage of a slaughterhouse. So we are surrounded by the sort of hanging processed carcasses of cows and pigs, and we are not alone. And the person who is with us, that we don't currently know the exact location of, is an enemy. So, hey, wait, you forgot to check something important. Here's where it comes up. Query, are you yourself? Task, roll 1d6 to determine. So we are about to start the process of seeing who we are inside this slaughterhouse with a terrible enemy. We're going to roll 1d6. If we get 1 through 3, I am myself. I'm dreaming as Skylar. 4 through 5, somebody else. And 6, I don't remember. If we get myself, then I dream as myself. If somebody else, then I make up a character that we are dreaming, and we dream as that character's self. If I don't remember, then you get to dream without the grounding of a self, which is always fun. All right, 1d6. 6. I don't remember, which means that we are dreaming without the grounding of a self. So in this dream, inside this abattoir that we are inside, we do not know who we are. We just know that we are alone with the carcasses and one other person who is our enemy. And I have written this down in our dream journal. And the narrator says, maybe you haven't been here before, but I know you. You must be a machine. Task, record results in dream journal. So if you are playing your this game yourself, which you can find this game for free or pay what you want on itch.io, then this would be a moment for you to write down your dream so far. The function of solo journaling games, I think, other than just kind of the fun of a game, particularly a game that you can play by yourself, is to get creative juices flowing. I think one of the most common uses that people report for this game is sort of a creative writing prompt. It's really just something that gets your brain moving so you don't have to just sit down in front of a blank piece of paper and try and desperately make something up. Often it's easier to be creative when you kind of have a set task and rules and limitations that you can then add your own creativity and narrative to. So that's really one of the purposes of this game. So, step 3. Oh, that's funny. We're about to make a stress check. So this is this is one of my favorite parts of the game. I feel like I'm tooting my own horn because I made the game, but our task now is to roll 2d6 to pass a stress check. If we get 2 through 6, it's a failure. If we get a 7 through 9, it's a partial clear. And if we get a 10 through 12, it's a clear. You seem stressed, after all. It's only natural it would work its way into your dream. Unless, of course, you pass that stress check, in which case, I guess you just look stressed. So, let's roll our 2d6. That first die is a 4, and the second die is a 2. So we have gotten a 6 total, which is a failure. So we're going to go down to failure, not alone. Task. Tell me who your companion is and why their presence is so upsetting. Remember to use recorded results from previous task rolls and record in your dream journal. Let's see. Do you guys want to play with me? I don't know who's in chat, but if at any point you have ideas about the dream that we are experiencing, I would love to hear them. However, it looks like right now it's mostly just me, myself, and I, which is very in the spirit of this game. So I am going to say that the person we're with is somebody who works at the slaughterhouse. In fact, I think it's the foreman. I think it's the foreman. I think the foreman is my stepfather. That's just based purely on vibes. I think we're with the foreman. The foreman is my stepfather, and he's probably trying to kill us in this abattoir, yeah. That seems right for a bad dream. Okay. So, as you can see through me scrolling, there's all these other various results that you can get based on previous rolls. But now we're at the always exciting step 4, which is query. Is that really what's happening? Oh boy, maybe you are human because it looks like you're going to need to pass a focus check. Well, good luck. So we are going to roll 1d6 to make a focus check. If we get a 1, that'll be a dream reload, which means that we're basically going to have to start over. If we get a 2 through 5, it's a success, and if we get a 6, it's also a dream reload. 3 dream reloads end your dream, so I hope you passed. It looks like you have decent odds. Did you take your insert medication today? So let's roll our focus check to see if we can keep a solid grasp on what we're currently dreaming. 4. Okay. So that is a success. So that is, in fact, what's really happening to us. Just as a reminder, we have opened our eyes in our dream. We are inside. It is abstract and visceral, which means that we are in the cold storage of a slaughterhouse, surrounded by the carcasses of cows and pigs. And we are hiding, I believe, because there is one other person with us in the slaughterhouse who is our stepfather, not that we know who we are, and we think that he intends to hurt us. So, if success, task, that's really what's happening. Navigate to the event tables and follow the rules from there. And again, if it was a dream reload, we would navigate to the first step and follow the rules to start the next part of the dream. So now we are at the event tables. So we failed that stress check. So based on that, we are going to roll a 1d6 and then get something on the failure event table. So we've rolled a 5, which on the failure table is something is dangerous. So this is basically just, you know, when you're dreaming and you have sort of a vague sense of something that's happening, like, oh no, I have to herd all of these kittens away from an incinerator. That's the essence of this prompt. Something in this slaughterhouse with us is dangerous. And in this case, I think that is going to be a big industrial carcass processor. that is running haywire. So now we're going to have to be avoiding that big industrial carcass processor at the same time as avoiding the foreman of the slaughterhouse, which is our stepfather. Very stressful dream. So, task. Using your event, tell me what's happening in your dream. This is the next part of the story that your brain is struggling to tell itself. Remember to use recorded results from your previous task rolls and record in your dream journal. So, we've established what's happening in our dream is that this big industrial carcass processor is running haywire, and we are attempting to avoid it at the same time as avoiding our foreman stepfather. I'm just going to decide for fun that he is a hook hand. So, step 6. Query. Is something wrong? You still look really stressed. So we are going to have to make another stress check at this point. Roll 2d6 to pass the stress check. Again, 1 through 6 is failure, 7 through 9 is a partial clear, and 10 through 12 is a clear. So let's see if we survive our slaughterhouse nightmare based on the result of this stress check. First roll is a 6, good start, and second roll is a 2. So we have gotten an 8 total, which is a partial clear. So let's go down to our partial clear section. If partial clear, task. Well, things are fine overall, but something just made this event a lot weirder than it was. Tell me what and how in your dream journal. A lot weirder than it was. Okay. You know what it is. I am going to say that I think the bodies in this abattoir, in this slaughterhouse, the cows and the pigs, that, as a reminder, are processed and hanging up in their cold storage, I think that they don't want anybody else to die here. I think they have, enough kind of coalesced grudge against our foreman stepfather with his hook hand and the big industrial processor, this mangler that's kind of running wild, that's been pursuing us this whole time. And I think these sort of processed ambling corpses, these kind of hanging pieces of tender muscle, are starting to slide themselves off the hooks and kind of inch along the floor towards the foreman and towards the machine to clog it, to stop them, to save us. So overall, things are going pretty okay, but it's still kind of a scary and stressful situation in here. All right, step 7, query. Do you want to wake up? That's a good question. So our task here is to roll another die. If it's a 1 through 3, we wake up. And if it's a 4 through 6, we stay dreaming. A little addition here, you can actually wake up at any time. You don't have to pass a check unless you really enjoy following the rules. So let's see if we're waking up or not, because we love following the rules here. Two. Okay, so we wake up. If we wake up, your dream is over. Tell me where it ended and how you felt when you woke up. Properly recorded your dream journal and end the game. So I think where our dream ends is that kind of final scene of the sort of now slug-like processed animal carcasses clogging that industrial processor, making it break down and sort of crumble in on itself. shoving our cruel stepfather in with them, kind of ending the nightmare of this slaughterhouse in this horrible but beautiful way. I think what we see before our eyes open into the real world is that sort of mountain of metal and muscle collapsing in on itself, and maybe the walls of the slaughterhouse start to shake from the force of the thing that's happening there. And then our eyes open and we're back in our bed. So step 8 is about ending the game. So our task here is to continue until you wake up, you reach 3 dream reloads, or you feel like ending your dream, at which point you navigate to the last step of the game and follow the rules to end it. Properly record your dream in your dream journal. Parting words from our narrator. Leaving so soon? Well, I'm sure you'll be back. Hopefully all that dreaming sparked some last dying bit of imagination in your brain. Maybe you even got some serotonin out of it. You probably at least got some cortisol if your brain can make chemicals like that. Wait, before you go, just tell me. Query. Do you think it meant something? So we have an optional task here, which is to interpret your dream in your dream journal. Another optional task is to share your dream with other people. I like to do optional tasks if I can, and I'm already sharing this dream with all of you. So all that's left is to interpret it. I really like this step of the game. I think it's fun to kind of look back on something you made up and try and decide what it means. I think for me, what that dream meant is that I'm really angry at my father, who isn't. I've been eating a lot of red meat lately, and I've been thinking about the implications of that. And also, I think I want to live in a world where you can be protected when you need it. And I think that's what our dream about being rescued by the many desiccated and processed carcasses at the slaughterhouse meant. Oh my goodness. We just got started. Would you guys like to go through another dream with me? I think we've had some people trickling in. Yeah, you know what? That was a short one. Let's do one more before we say goodnight. So we're going to navigate to the beginning. Oh yeah. So, step 1. Wait, have you been here before? Maybe. So let's see where our eyes open in this dream. We're going to roll 1d6 to start dreaming. Again, 1 through 2 is outside, 3 through 4 is inside, and 5 through 6 is undefined. Rolling my die. That's a 5. Okay, so this time we are opening our eyes somewhere undefined, which is very fun. I don't know if everybody feels this way, but I sort of enjoy the challenge inherent in like imagining where your brain places you when you're just sort of like having a weird abstract dream and you don't know. Hi, Robin. My cat's here. Brief cat break. Thank you for humoring me. This is my very special boy, and I love him so much. So, we open our eyes in our dream somewhere indefined. Task is to record it in the dream journal. And our next query is, what is it like? So again, on our adjective tables, we are going to roll 1d6 2 times in a row, 2 separate times to pick 2 adjectives. The first roll determines the adjective table, and the second roll determines the adjective on that table. If you roll the same adjective twice, roll again, but increase that adjective's impact on your dream because it's fate. So, first adjective, 6 and 2. So we are on table 6, adjective 2, which is hopeless. We're not really having pleasant dreams today, are we? Second adjective. Let's see. So first roll is a 6 again. Oh my god, second roll is a 2 again. Why did I make that rule about increasing the impact? Okay, so this is going to be a very hopeless dream. I've never had that happen before, even in the 10 million times I had to test this before I published it. So thank you for being here for this historic moment when I have been hoisted by my own petard. So let's roll again. Okay. This time we're on table 5. Adjective 2. Jesus Christ, these 2s. So table 5, adjective 2 is soft. Okay. We are somewhere hopeless and soft. That is undefined. Where are we? Huh. Okay, you know what that makes me think of, actually? Did you guys ever, like when you were in middle school or elementary school, you take one of those field trips to like a gymnastics place? Not like really like a real like gymnastics gym or anything, but like they have that big pit of the foam cubes that you jump into and like swings and little rings. It's basically just like, oh my god, we need these middle schoolers to get some energy out. We're getting close to the other cat. Hi. She's shy, so you probably won't see the other one. But thank you. I think we've puzzled it out. So based on our undefined setting, soft and very hopeless, we are, I think we're at the bottom of that foam cube pit in the gymnastics place that we all took field trips to in middle school. So we're going to be writing that down in our dream journal. Bottom of foam cube pit. There are keys down here that will never be retrieved, band-aids that fell off, coins, gum, Tamagotchis, just all of these lost tiny items that are likely to never be reunited with the late 90s children that abandoned them in the foam cube pit unknowingly. Very exciting. Okay, so again, bottom of the foam cube pit. They really encourage you to not try and go all the way to the bottom, but I did all of the time. Okay, so step 2. Are you alone? So our task here is to roll 1d6 to determine if we are alone at the bottom of this foam cube pit. 1 through 2 is alone, 3 through 4 is not alone, and 5 through 6 is I don't know. Let me roll. So we have gotten a 3, which means we are once again in our dream, not alone. At the bottom of this foam cube pit, there is somebody with us. And if we are not alone, then our query is, who are we with? We're going to roll 1d6. 1 through 2 is a friend. Fingers crossed. 3 through 4 is an enemy, and 5 through 6 is a stranger. So let's roll our next die. And that is a 6. Okay, so we are at the bottom of this foam cube pit with a stranger. That makes sense. I feel like a lot of different schools used to come to one field trip day of these things and just kind of let roaming bands of middle schoolers get into small scuffles at the gymnastics place. I don't know if these experiences are universal. I went to a very strange school as a child, but this is my dream. You're all just along for the ride. So, if not alone, who are you with? We're with a stranger. And hey, wait, we forgot to check something important. Are you yourself? So we're going to roll 1d6 to determine. 1 through 3 is myself. 4 through 5 is somebody else. And 6, I don't remember. If we get myself, then I dream as myself, Skylar. If we get somebody else, then our task is to decide who we are and dream as that character's self. If we get I don't remember, like we did last time, we are in a haze and we dream with the grounding of a self. So let's roll and see what we get. 1. So I am myself. And that makes sense because I feel like as I'm talking more and more about this incredibly specific gymnastics play place experience I had in middle school, this is probably a dream about my past. So I'm dreaming as myself. I'm going to record the results in our dream journal. Very important. And oh, that's funny. We're about to make a stress check. So as with before, we're going to roll 2d6 to pass the stress check. 2 through 6 is a failure. 7 through 9 is a partial clear. And 10 through 12 is a clear. You seem stressed, after all. It's only natural that it would work its way into your dream, unless, of course, you pass that stress check, in which case, I guess you just look stressed. So let's see if I can pass this stress check. 4 and 2. So that is a 6 total, which again is a failure. I do not just look stressed. She's clocking me. So there's a lot of results that can be gotten from that series of rolls. And a lot of them are, they are partially based on whether you failed or passed, and partially based on whether you are alone or not alone, or you don't know. So we've gotten a failure, and we are not alone. So our task is to describe who our companion is and why their presence is so upsetting. Remember to use previous recorded results from previous task rules, and to record in your dream journal. So I am going to say that the person who is with us, who is a stranger, is just some piece of shit boy from another school. And I don't know about you, but in middle school, I was not particularly socially comfortable, let's say. So, on like days when we maybe did big field trips and I got taken to sort of a gymnastics play place, basically anywhere that I could go hide and not be overstimulated was my favorite. Which is why I was frequently at the bottom of that foam cube pit, against the direct instructions of any adult who instructed you about the foam cube pit. So I'm going to say that there's just some boy down in the foam cube pit with me, and I really wanted to be in here alone, and he's like big and loud, and he's talking at me, and he's killing the vibe, and I'm kind of worried that he's going to start bullying me. So we're going to record that in our dream journal. And now we arrive at step 4, which is query, is that really what's happening? So you may have noticed that a lot of the language of this game is kind of reminiscent of coding. I really like to think about the brain as sort of a flesh computer, which is why, this game about dreaming in the digital age is very call and response, much in the way that you would call to a computer with sort of coding input and ask it to respond to you. So, oh boy, maybe you are human because it looks like you're going to need to pass a focus check. Well, good luck. So our task now is to roll 1d6 to make a focus check. 1, dream reload. We have to go back to the beginning, start again. That's not what's happening. We're in a new part of the dream. 2 through 5 is a success. We keep a hold on what's happening. We stay dreaming this dream. 6, also a dream reload. We're fucked. We're utterly fucked. We have to start all over. So let's see. Rolling a 6. So we have to go back to step 1 because that is not actually what's happening. We are not actually at the bottom of that foam pit with a boy who's also in middle school and killing our vibe. We are actually opening our eyes freshly in somewhere completely different. And we are going to go roll for that. So, query, where do your eyes open? And again, the narrator says, wait, have you been here before? I don't know, maybe. So we're going to roll 1d6. 1 to 2 outside, 3 to 4 inside, 5 to 6 undetermined. Let's see where we start our new dream. 2. Okay. So we are opening our eyes outside. That's good. I'm glad that we've gotten now in the course of our journey together all 3 of the starting options because I feel like it's fun to just see. So query, and what is it like? So again, on our adjective tables, we're going to roll 1d6 2 times in a row, 2 separate times to pick out 2 adjectives. First roll determines the adjective table. Second roll determines the adjective on that table. So let's roll for our first adjective. We are on table 2. Adjective 4. So our first adjective is labyrinthine, which is fun. Very fun, very cool dream we're having. I can already tell the vibes are going to be awesome. Adjective 2. Let's start rolling. Table 4. Adjective 6. So our second adjective. Oh, is this one? Sorry, technical difficulties. I am looking at an out-of-date version of my own book. There we go. Okay, so 4 and 6 is acidic. So we have woken in our dream somewhere outside that is labyrinthine and acidic. So I don't know about you, but for me, And I'm the one writing this, so unfortunately I have the reins. That makes me think of a classic Soulsborne Miyazaki Poison Swamp. So I'm going to say that what is actually happening now in our dream is a Miyazaki style poison swamp. So we are outside in a poison swamp. Let's move to the next step. Okay. So, next query. Are you alone? So again, we roll 1d6 to determine if we're alone or not. 1 through 2 is alone. 3 through 4, not alone. 5 through 6, I don't know. So that is a 4. Wow, not alone again. Okay, so record that in our dream journal. And we are not alone. So if not alone, query, who are you with? Task, roll 1d6. 1 through 2 will be a friend. 3 through 4 will be an enemy, and 5 through 6 will be a stranger. So let's see what we get. 6. So we have another stranger. So we are in this poisonous swamp. We are not alone, and they are a stranger. But hey, wait. We forgot to check something important. Query, are you yourself? Let's roll 1d6 to determine. So again, if it's 1 through 3, then I am dreaming as myself. If it's 4 through 5, I'm dreaming as somebody else. And if it's 6, I don't remember. So let's roll. Three. Great. Okay. So once again, I am dreaming as myself. So I am me, Skylar, they, he pronoun user, and I am in this poison swamp with a stranger. Oh, that's funny. We're about to make a stress check. So let's roll 2d6 to clear our stress check. If we get a 2 through 6, that's a failure. If we get a 7 through a 9, that's a partial clear. And if we get a 10 through 12, that's a clear. You seem stressed after all. It's only natural it would work its way into your dream. Unless, of course, you pass that stress check, in which case, I guess you just look stressed. So let's see if we pass. First roll 1. Not promising. Second roll, also a 1. So we have abysmally failed that stress check, which I am recording in my dream journal. Very stressed today. So, if failure and not alone, task, tell me who your companion is and why their presence is so upsetting. Let's see. We're in a poison swamp. We are not alone. Presence is upsetting of this strange person that we don't know. They're not an enemy, so I don't want to automatically sort of assign them the narrative role of an enemy because I don't feel like that's necessarily true to the prompt. But I think that somebody can be a frightening presence without necessarily being a direct threat to you. So what I am going to say is that we are trying to navigate through the poison swamp. And by we, I mean me, Skylar, who is a 28-year-old graphic designer. I am trying to get through the poison swamp. And I think there's somebody in the swamp with me that belongs in the swamp a lot more than I do. I think that they are a necromancer. sort of a practitioner of dark magical arts. I think they have lived in the swamp for many decades, I can only assume. And I think that they are going about their business, making bone arrays and casting wicked spells. And I'm just kind of trying to move through the swamp, and the whole time I can tell it's under the influence of this very powerful person who, I, as sort of a boring office job haver, don't really understand or view as particularly stable. I unfortunately am too weak of mind and spirit to hang with the poisonous swamps necromancer. So let's go to our next step, which is step 4, which is query. Is that really what's happening? Remember this part? We're going to need to pass a focus check. So we're going to roll 1d6. If we get 1, it's a dream reload. We go back to the start. 2 through 5, success. 6, dream reload. So let's see if we keep having our poisonous swamp necromancer dream. That's a 5. Okay, so that is in fact really what's happening in the dream. This time around, I have gotten it correct. We are in the poisonous necromancer swamp with the poisonous swamp necromancer. Who's like, I don't know them. They're not doing anything to me, but they're really freaking me out. So, success. That's really what's happening. Navigate to the event tables and follow the rules from there. So, let's go to the event tables. So, again, we failed our stress check. So we are on the failure table, but there's a failure table, a partial clear table, and a clear table. So basically just sort of the vibe of your dream based on the result of your stress check influences the events. Just, much in the same way that if you just randomly decided you weren't feeling it in your dream, that would probably have an impact on what your brain was showing you. So let's see what we got. That is a 1. So on our failure table, something is due. Oh my God, and I'm dreaming as myself. Okay, you know what it is? I have a big bunch of graphic design work that is due for my annoying office job at a nonprofit, and there is no Wi-Fi in the poison swamp. So I think that I either need to navigate out of this labyrinthine poison swamp very quickly so that I can send my emails out before the end of the day, or I need to go ask the necromancer who kind of runs this poisonous swamp as a god king, if they have Wi-Fi and if they will let me use Wi-Fi and if they will not turn me into sort of a bone servant. So, under ordinary circumstances, I would record all of that sort of creative writing in my dream journal because I'm sharing it with you guys on stream. And there's going to be a VOD. It's already recorded. Forever, baby, on video. So we can move on to step 6, which is query. Is something wrong? Having a little drink. Because I still look really stressed. So let's roll 2d6 to pass another stress check. As a reminder, 1 through 6, failure. 7 through 9, partial clear. 10 through 12, clear. So let's see what we get. First roll is a 5. Okay, we might actually pass. Second roll is a 6. Okay, so we have gotten an 11 total, which means that we actually cleared a stress check. So, if clear, task. Isn't that nice? Things are going well here. Tell me how your event succeeds in your dream journal. The conclusion. The conclusion of our beautiful poisonous swamp with a necromancer in it dream. is that I give up on finding my own way out of this labyrinthine poisonous swamp. And I finally go talk to this strange necromancer that I, because of my own implicit biases, have been too scared to talk to or interact with, even though they've been minding their own business, doing their own bone rays. I ask them for help. I ask them if they have Wi-Fi. They do have Wi-Fi, and their house is surprisingly sanitary for a practitioner of the dark and demonic arts. So I get all of my emails sent out, and I think at the end, the necromancer says, you really shouldn't have to work at a nonprofit anymore, Skylar. Why don't you become my apprentice and live in the poisonous swamp? And in the meantime, while you're transitioning out of your 9 to 5, you can work remote from the poisonous swamp in my nice house. Isn't that a wonderful dream? So we're going to step 7, which is query. Do you want to wake up? So our task is to roll 1d6. If it's 1 to 3, we wake up. If it's 4 to 6, we stay dreaming. You can actually wake up at any time. You don't have to pass a check unless you really enjoy following the rules. Again, we love rules here. So we are going to roll 1d6. And that is a 2. So we wake up right on that beautiful moment of me deciding to gradually transition out of my nonprofit branding and communications job. My eyes open and I am back in my bedroom 30 minutes before I have to log on and start my branding and communications nonprofit job. So if we wake up, your dream is over. Tell me where it ended and how you felt when you woke up. Properly record in your dream journal and end the game. I personally, I'm glad that I had that dream. I love where it ended in the necromancer's nice cottage, with me deciding to get a hold of my life and leave my boring career for necromancy. And now that it's woken up, I feel sad. Honestly, I feel robbed of a beautiful future with that necromancer. I think they really could have changed things for me. But I'm also glad that I met them, even though it was just a figment of whatever chemicals my brain uses to make dreams happen. I hope you guys had fun too. So, first up, we have to end our dream. Step 8 is continue until you wake up, which we did. You reach 3 dream reloads, or you feel like ending your dream, at which point navigate to the last step of the game and follow the rules to end it. Properly record your dream in your dream journal. Query. Do you think it meant something? So my optional task is to, again, interpret our dream. And the fun part about the dream reloads that we've experienced, we only had one, but our dream this time transitioned from a sort of very grounded, real dream about my weirdly specific middle school gymnastics field trip and the foam cube pit there, into a dream about the poisonous swamp and due dates for my hybrid remote graphic design work and necromancy, and how maybe I wish my life was a little bit different. So I think what it meant was that I'm at a stage of my life and my career where I am sort of looking back at my breadth of experiences, both through childhood and into adulthood. And I don't know, thinking about the ways in which I engage with other people and the things that I thought that I needed to be. And I think as you sort of get older and you spend a lot of time reflecting on that, you think about how much you've changed since you were a child, and two, you realize that all these sort of pathways and walls and barriers that we construct around ourselves to kind of box in ourselves and define it aren't necessary often, and sometimes aren't even useful. I think that in my current place in my life, I'm really breaking out of those constructs. I kind of just feel bigger than all of that. I feel like my spirit is bigger and I'm no longer interested in containing it. And I know that for a lot of people, getting that from a dream about a poisonous swamp necromancer that turns out to be surprisingly nice might sound a little far-fetched, but that's the fun of interpreting your own dream, is that you're the only one who gets to decide what it meant. So let's see. I think I think that is where we are going to call it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to pop this game into the chat room for anybody who's interested. But again, I have been your friend, Skylar K. Swift, playing Electric Sheep, which is a game that I made, a solo journaling tabletop role-playing game about dreaming in the digital age. And it is free or pay what you want on itch.io. I have been here with Nerds with Dice, my beloved and frequent collaborators. They are a really wonderful independent operation who you should really follow and support. You can find me later this year resuming season 2 of Masks the Puzzle Project, which is a superhero tabletop role-playing adventure that I am a player in, GM'd by the immeasurably talented Nox. Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Dive into Arthurian tales in night. Ironsworn, The Valley, returns for season 2, 8 p.m. EST. Check out our YouTube for more adventures from Nerds with Dice. And if you have a story you wish to tell or a game you wish to showcase, our Creators app is always open and can be found on Twitter and Blue Sky, or ask for a link in the Discord. We are going to be rating Artemis Harp tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for dreaming with me.